In a world where the line between life and death is as thin as a thread, human ingenuity has defied the laws of nature. Today, we will unveil the secrets of the architecture and technology that have always been before our eyes. From steel giants that reach for the stars to artificial abysses that swallow the silence, this fascinating journey will completely change your perspective of reality. Before we delve into these mysteries, tell us in the comments, from which country are you watching us today? And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the wonders of the modern world. Let the journey begin. In the beating heart of China, a titan of crystal and steel emerges that defies the logic of our era. We are not simply before a development center, but before the threshold of a new civilization, the Wuhan future city. This is the epicenter of a silent revolution where silicon replaces the soul, and the algorithm becomes the new destiny of humanity, marking the start of an era that previously only existed in dreams. Officially established in the year 2010 as one of the 4 strategic innovation cities at a national level, this complex covers a colossal surface of 66 square kilometers dedicated exclusively to radical technology. Here, more than 1,000 cutting-edge companies converge to rewrite the laws of physics, transforming what was once virgin land into a gigantic electronic brain that never rests. Its most iconic structure, the Solar Energy Building, rises like a metallic lotus flower 128 meters high, designed to absorb the sun's breath. Seen from the heights, the infrastructure unfolds like an immense organic motherboard, where the buildings act as microchips bathed in a constant silvery glow. Its towers are not mere concrete constructions. They are needles of light that seem to want to pierce the fabric of reality itself to extract the deepest secrets of the cosmos. When the sun sets, LED lights bathe the avenues in a spectral blue, evoking the presence of a digital deity that observes every movement in absolute silence. Have you ever imagined a metropolis that breathes under your feet, defying gravity and traditional urbanism? Welcome to Chengdu SKP, a masterpiece of modern engineering that has redefined the concept of public space by sinking an entire city below the Earth's surface to preserve the harmony of the skyline. This complex represents the pinnacle of urban planning, where technical functionality meets respect for the landscape. Officially opened in December 2022, this colossal project is crowned as the largest sunken shopping center in China, covering a total construction area exceeding 500,000 square meters. Approximately 99% of its structure is below ground level, extending to depths of up to 30 meters. Here, civil engineering has managed to integrate mass transport nodes and luxury commercial districts into a sunken park design that defies the laws of conventional architecture. From the surface, the place does not look like a market, but a futuristic oasis. The ventilation structures and entrances emerge like totems of light and glass fountains that look like minerals sprouting from the earth. Seen from the heights, the complex resembles a perfectly carved technological crater, a green lung that hides a labyrinth of neon and steel in its depths. As the evening light filters through the skylights, the place is bathed in an amber glow that evokes the serenity of a sanctuary. What happens when art stops being an abstraction to become a symphony of glass on the riverbanks? In the ancient city of Nanjing, the Jiangsu Grand Theater rises as the definitive monument to human sensitivity, a sacred place where silence and melody coexist in an eternal embrace that defies the fragility of time and matter. Officially completed in the year 2017, this colossus of culture extends over a colossal surface of approximately 270,000 square meters, consolidating itself as one of the vastest artistic centers in all of Asia. Its facilities house a monumental opera hall with a capacity for 2,300 spectators and multiple stage spaces designed with mathematical and technological precision that seek absolute acoustic perfection in every corner of the venue. Seen from the heights, the complex evokes the poetic image of 4 gigantic dewdrops resting delicately on a lotus leaf, or perhaps diamonds carved by the Yangtze River itself that reflect the immensity of the sky. Its skin of metal and glass unfolds like a network of silvery light, organically integrating into the aquatic landscape that surrounds it. When the night lights come on, the theater emits a celestial glow that seems to invoke the presence of ancient muses over the waters. There is a sense of deep peace inside it, as if the energy of art had the power to purify the visitor's spirit. Is this not the definitive temple where humanity can finally commune with the invisible through pure beauty? Why has the night sky over Chinese metropolises stopped belonging to the stars to surrender before an artificial will? What we witness is not just modern pyrotechnics, but a choreography of shadows and lights that forces us to wonder. How far will man go in his attempt to domesticate the void and reclaim the firmament as his own personal canvas? China has taken swarm technology to levels never seen before, achieving astounding world milestones, such as the massive 2024 spectacle in Shenzhen, where more than 10,000 drones took off in perfect synchrony. These devices operate in an airspace covering more than 500 meters in length and reach altitudes exceeding 300 meters, all coordinated by artificial intelligence algorithms that process thousands of trajectories per second to avoid millimeter-level collisions while drawing complex figures in real-time E. From the ground, the image is breathtaking. The drones intertwine like the glowing scales of an ancestral dragon that breathes light, or unfold like an immense neural network floating over the horizon, appearing like a luminous wound in the black fabric of the deep night. The firmament is bathed in a cyan and scarlet glow that pulses with an unnatural, almost hypnotic rhythm. Some local observers claim that the constant hum of these machines evokes ancient forbidden rites, as if we were invoking forgotten deities in a binary language that only the universe understands. Is this display a form of sacred art that elevates our soul? Or is it the prelude to a future where even our connection with the cosmos will be monitored by a technological eye that never blinks? How can man change the very pulse of the earth without provoking the wrath of the heavens? This is not a simple canal. It is an artificial artery of biblical proportions designed to heal the thirst of an empire, moving entire oceans through thousands of kilometers of silence. This project, one of the most ambitious in human history, contemplates routes totaling more than 1,400 kilometers in length. It moves trillions of cubic meters of water from the Yangtze River toward the arid northern plains, involving the relocation of hundreds of thousands of people and decades of uninterrupted work. From the heights, the canal looks like a sapphire blue crystal vein piercing the body of China, a liquid mirror reflecting the sky while flowing against the will of gravity itself. The surface of the water shines with a celestial purity, as if it were the sacred breath of nature channeled by man. There is a terrifying calm in its flow, as if the river itself were meditating. Are we restoring the balance of the world? Or are we playing at being gods with an element that does not belong to us? Forget everything you know about transport. This train does not touch the ground. It floats over a field of invisible forces, gliding like a ghost through the industrial fog of Shanghai. is a forbidden technology for others, operating at the limit of madness. In service since 2004, it is the fastest commercial train in the world, reaching 430 km/h in just minutes. It uses magnetic levitation to eliminate friction, allowing a colossus of several tons to float centimeters above the track by means of superconducting magnets. It is a blur of white and blue light, a shadow that disappears before the human eye can focus on it, seeming more like a holographic projection than a physical object. The magnetic hum creates a vibration that resonates in the bones of those who travel in it, like the song of an electric demon. Many claim that at that speed, the soul stays behind for a few seconds. Is this the transport of tomorrow, or a dangerous experiment that is tearing the fabric of our reality? Hold on tight. You are about to fly over the ocean waves in a silver projectile. This is China's first maritime high-speed line, where the train cuts the air and the water at a speed that blurs the boundaries of the known world. Opened in 2023, the line covers 277 kilometers at speeds of up to 350 km/h. It crosses 3 main bays through extreme engineering bridges designed to withstand typhoons, earthquakes, and salt corrosion for more than a century. The train looks like a silver arrow skimming the surface of the sea, leaving behind a wake of foam and light, while the bridges stretch like metallic webs over the blue abyss. In the gloom of the sea tunnels, it is said that time compresses and expands unnaturally. Passengers often feel they are traveling to the future before their shadow catches up with them. Have we conquered space? Or are we sacrificing our connection with the landscape for the obsession with arriving fast? Look up and tremble. An iron giant is lifting thousands of tons of water and steel as if they were simple toys. It is the world's tallest ship elevator, a colossal machine that has domesticated the river to serve human ambition. Operational. Since 2021, this three-stage system allows 2,300-ton ships to overcome a vertical drop of 199 meters. It is an unprecedented feat that uses a complex system of giant counterweights and pulleys designed to withstand massive hydraulic pressures. It looks like a guillotine of titanic proportions or a vertical river suspended in the air by concrete pillars that look like the fingers of a rock giant holding the water. Light filters through the steel cables like threads of a mechanical destiny. The roar of the gears sounds like the heartbeat of a metal heart buried in the dam. Is this the ultimate expression of our power over nature, or the start of a machine's rebellion? On the shores of Haitong Bay, a temple dedicated to desire and unfettered consumption rises. It is a monument to ephemeral beauty, where glass and metal protect the most expensive treasures of the modern world, but at a hidden price. This Colossus, finished in 2014, is the world's largest duty-free shopping center with 120,000 square meters. Its structural steel design was an engineering challenge, using more than 10,000 tons of metal to create its organic shapes. The structure resembles a giant crystal butterfly that has just landed on the water, or a futuristic lotus petal floating in a silvery glow under the tropical sun. The reflection of the sun on its facade is so intense that it looks like a divine apparition. However, the emptiness felt behind its doors suggests a disturbing truth. Are we buying objects or trying to fill a hole in our soul with fragments of luxury? Do not be fooled by the luxury. In the corridors of this city of glass and sin, time stands still and reality fragments. It is a European mirage built on Asian soil where fortunes are won and lost in a breath. Opened in 2007, it is the world's largest casino and Asia's largest building by surface area, with 980,000 square meters. It houses exact replicas of the canals of Venice, with real gondolas and artificial skies simulating an eternal sunset. It is a golden labyrinth of Renaissance architecture, a theater of opulence that shines like a gold coin in the middle of the Macau night, designed to disorient and seduce the senses. The amber light of its chandeliers creates shadows that seem to whisper secrets of greed. It is said that the souls of the players who lost everything still wander through the artificial canals. Is this a palace of pleasure, or a labyrinth designed to trap your spirit forever? Beneath the crystalline waters of this enclosure, gigantic shadows glide in a silence that chills the blood. It is not just a theme park. It is an artificial abyss where the ocean's largest predators watch humans from the other side of the glass. Opened in 2014, this complex holds 5 world records, including that of the largest aquarium tank on the planet. With a capacity of nearly 50 million liters of water, it houses majestic species like whale sharks and giant manta rays in an environment controlled by cutting-edge technology. The venue looks like an oceanic crown encrusted with bluish jewels, where light refracts, creating a labyrinth of shadows reminiscent of the mythical lost Atlantis. The spectral blue glow of the tanks seems to emanate from an ancestral energy source. Some visitors claim to feel a deep sadness looking into the eyes of the captive giants. Are we protecting marine life or creating a glass prison for the gods of the sea? Watch out! You are entering the Sea of Death. This road crosses the heart of the world's second largest shifting dune desert, where the wind can erase your trail in seconds and the heat distorts reality itself. Built in 1995, this feat crosses 522 kilometers of hostile sand. To prevent the dunes from devouring the asphalt, A drip irrigation system was installed that feeds millions of shrubs on both sides, creating an artificial ecosystem in an absolute void. The road unfolds like an endless black ribbon over an ocean of liquid gold, a line of survival that looks like a miracle in the middle of the most devastating nowhere. At sunset, the dunes emit a sepulchral whisper that ancient travelers confused with the voices of spirits. It is said that the desert claims those who do not respect its silence. Is this road a triumph of will, or an open tomb waiting for its next sand banquet? Considered the airport of the future. This structure is the posthumous masterpiece of Zaha Hadid and the epicenter of 21st century global connectivity. Here, technical efficiency blends with an aesthetic that seems to come from another galaxy. Opened in 2019, it features the world's largest single-building terminal, with 700,000 square meters. Its design allows passengers to never walk more than 8 minutes from the center to the farthest boarding gate, processing 72 million people annually. Seen from space, the airport looks like a golden starfish or an alien mothership that has landed softly on the Beijing plains, with crystal tentacles shining under the twilight. The golden glow of its ceilings evokes the glory of ancient emperors. There is an aura of sacred order in its constant flow of souls. Is this the departure port toward the stars, or the last refuge of a humanity that does not know how to stop? In the nerve center of Shenzhen rises a steel giant claiming its place as the absolute guardian of the Asian horizon. This skyscraper is not just an office, but the symbol of a nation that has decided to touch the firmament. Completed in 2017, this colossus reaches a height of 599 meters, making it one of the tallest buildings in the world. Its facade is clad with 1,700 tons of 316 grade stainless steel, specifically designed to resist corrosion from the marine climate. Its silhouette resembles a perfectly sharpened silver needle, a futuristic sentinel cutting through the clouds like a diamond carved by the hand of a giant. Light reflects off its walls like a beacon of hope for millions. Many believe its summit is a modern altar where man offers his ambition to the universe. Will steel be able to sustain the weight of our dreams of grandeur forever? Welcome to the ladder to heaven, a feat of civil engineering that seems to defy the laws of physics in the mountains of Sichuan. It is not just a road, it is a mathematical triumph over the most hostile geography on the planet. Opened in 2012 after 6 years of extreme construction, this highway extends for 240 kilometers. Its design includes 270 bridges and 25 tunnels, ascending from 600 meters to 3,200 meters above sea level, with an average slope that tests any engine. From the air, the structure twists like a silver concrete dragon climbing through the clouds, a perfect gray scar over the untamable green of the mountain ranges. Under the glow of the Andean sun, the metal glitters like a sacred path. Locals say this bridge connects the mortal world with the realm of the gods. Is this route a bridge toward progress, or a human intrusion into the eternal silence of the mountain? Behold the dragon of the seas, the definitive work of humanity that has united 3 worlds over the ocean abyss. It is not just a bridge. It is the declaration of an empire that has conquered the horizon, a feat that will live in history books 1,000 years after we have gone. With a length of 55 kilometers, it is the longest bridge over the sea in the world. It includes a 6.7-kilometer underwater tunnel, located 40 meters below the seabed, and 2 artificial islands. 400,000 tons of steel were used, enough to build 60 Eiffel Towers, designed to last 120 years against hurricane winds. The structure twists like an infinite ribbon of light emerging from the depths to sail the waves, a golden scar of triumph connecting the colonial past with the global future in a perfect line. At sunset, the bridge lights up like a constellation fallen into the sea, joining the souls of millions in a single path of hope. It reminds us that, before the immensity of the ocean, human will is the only force capable of creating a path where nothing existed. Is this the final bridge toward absolute unity, or the definitive monument to our inability to accept limits? Imagine a mirror of water so vast that it contains the reflection of the history of an entire empire. The Three Gorges Dam, in its nocturnal stillness, is a monument to the forced peace between the will of man and the eternal roar of Asia's most sacred river. The reservoir created by this dam holds 39.3 billion cubic meters of water, raising the river level by 175 meters. This mass of water is so colossal that it has shifted the weight of the planet, proving that architecture can be a geological force capable of molding the destiny of the world. Under the mist, the dam looks like an immense white obsidian altar that calms the waters, a geometric jewel embedded in the valley that shines like polished silver under the light of the full moon. There is a divine solemnity in the constant hum of its turbines, like a mantra protecting the nation. Many feel that the energy generated here is the vital breath of a new dawn. Is this the temple where humanity has finally domesticated time to create an eternal light? Walk over the void and feel how your heart melts with the transparent air. On this bridge, there is no floor, only the green abyss inviting you to let go of fear and merge with the immensity of the cosmos. It is a walk over nothingness, where every step is an act of faith. 4 meters long and suspended 300 meters high, this bridge features a floor composed of 99 panels of 3-layer tempered glass. It was designed by Haim Dotan to be as invisible as possible, integrating into the geography of the Grand Canyons of Zhangjiajie. The structure unfolds like an enchanted ice bridge or a crystal spiderweb joining two worlds, appearing like a tear of light suspended between two colossal mountains. Light refracts through the glass, creating rainbows under your feet that seem like bridges to other dimensions. Visitors often experience a silent communion with nature. Is this bridge a feat of engineering, or an invitation from the gods to learn to fly without wings? Do you dare to ascend toward the realm of the immortals in a glass box? The 100 Dragons elevator elevates you up the sandstone walls of the Avatar Pillars, taking you from the land of men to the abode of the clouds in a breath of wonder. It is the world's highest outdoor elevator at 326 meters in vertical height. Its 3 double-deck cabins can transport 4,900 passengers a day, performing the ascent in just 66 seconds. It was built directly onto the face of a quartzite cliff in the Wulingyuan area. Like a vein of glass and steel embedded in the skin of a sacred mountain, the elevator shines like a vertical diamond surrounded by eternal mist and peaks that seem to float in the air. Upon reaching the top, the glow of the sky envelops you, purifying your vision of worldly concerns. One feels the presence of ancient spirits watching from the cracks in the rock. Are we looking at a tourist attraction or a mystical path designed to elevate us toward our own enlightenment? Forget the weight of your body and prepare to float on the breath of an electric god. The Maglev is not a trip. It is an ascension where contact with the earth is broken, and speed becomes a silent melody that traverses time and space. This prodigy of magnetic levitation operates commercially at 430 km/h, covering 30 kilometers in barely 7 minutes. It has no wheels or axles. It floats over a magnetic field 10 millimeters thick, eliminating friction and turning movement into pure suspended kinetic energy. The train glides like a bolt of pure silver, a white apparition that blurs the exterior landscape until it becomes a canvas of abstract colors and lines of liquid light. In the stillness of the carriage, time seems to stop while the outside world fades away. A sacred peace is felt, as if the human spirit had finally been freed from the chains of matter. Is this train the prelude to our existence as beings of light, free from all earthly bonds? Speed up before the sea catches you. Crossing this bridge is like driving over the end of the world, where the asphalt is suspended over a marine abyss that devours the view. Here, engineering faces the fury of the ocean in a duel that lasts 42 kilometers of pure adrenaline. Completed in 2011, this bridge connects Qingdao with Huangdao Island. Its structure features more than 5,000 submerged pillars and was designed to withstand typhoons, magnitude 8 earthquakes, and the impact of 300,000-ton ships using 450,000 tons of steel. Seen from above, the bridge forms a perfect T, emerging from the waves like a silver metal arm, a technological spine trying to domesticate the immensity of the Yellow Sea. The glare of the sun on the water creates mirages that confuse drivers, making them feel they are driving toward infinity. Local fishermen fear the bridge has awakened the monsters of the deep. Is this a path of union, or an intrusion that the ocean will eventually reclaim? What happens when a man decides to steal the soul of one river to give it to another? This is the greatest hydrological manipulation in history, an intervention so deep it has altered the ecosystems of thousands of kilometers, awakening fears of nature's retaliation. With an investment exceeding $80 billion, this megaproject moves water from the Yangtze River toward the arid north through 3 massive routes. The Central Route Canal covers 1,432 kilometers, using tunnels under the Yellow River and water bridges of epic proportions. The structure looks like a sapphire blue artery cutting through the ochre landscape of the north, an intrusion of liquid crystal that seems not to belong to the earth it traverses. The water flows with an unnatural calm, as if being forced to follow a path it does not want. Many believe moving the sacred water of the south will alter the balance of the country's yin and yang. Is this a miracle of survival or a sin against the natural order of the world? Do not drink from these waters. The Grand Canal is a mirror reflecting millennia of betrayals, wars, and the sweat of millions of slaves. It is the main vein that fed the emperors, but its current carries secrets that refuse to sink into the mud of oblivion. It is the longest artificial river in the world, at 1,176 kilometers in length. Its oldest sections date back to the 5th century BC, eventually connecting Beijing with Hangzhou. Its system of locks and dikes allowed the mass transport of grain and troops, culturally unifying the north and south of China. The canal stretches like a liquid snake of dark emerald color, piercing through ancient and modern cities, a thread of water joining the feudal past with the industrial present. As mist falls over the stone bridges, the echoes of missing imperial boats are heard. Inhabitants of the banks offer incense to calm the spirits of the canal. Is this a transport route or a fluid cemetery guarding the very essence of the empire? Beware of the invisible giants. In the busiest port on the planet, machines move by themselves, without drivers, in a dance of metal that does not need the human being to function. It is a city of steel, where the pulse of global trade beats with a mechanical coldness that chills the blood. Phase 4 of the Yangshan Port is the largest automated terminal in the world. It manages more than 40 million containers a year, using cranes controlled by artificial intelligence and automatically guided vehicles, AGV, that operate 24 hours under any weather condition. The port looks like an immense electrified chessboard, where colored containers move like pieces in a macabre game directed by an invisible brain of silicon and wires. The cyan glow of the night beacons creates a ghostly atmosphere where the silence is only interrupted by an electric hum. Sailors say the place has no soul, only algorithms of greed. Are we before the peak of progress, or before the first district of a world where man is no longer necessary? How could a human hand carve an entire mountain to calm the fury of a killer river? Before the Leshan Buddha, your insignificance becomes absolute as you feel those stone eyes, which have seen centuries pass, judging you in a sepulchral silence. Sculpted during the Tang Dynasty, starting from the year 713, this colossus measures 71 meters in height. Its shoulders are 28 meters wide, and just its pinky finger is large enough for a person to sit on. It possesses a hidden internal drainage system that has prevented its erosion for 1,300 years. The Buddha emerges from the reddish rock wall, like a deity being born from the earth itself, sitting eternally with hands on knees while the water hits its feet with reverence. Light filters through the moss of its ears, creating an aura of ancient divinity. It is said that when the Buddha closes his eyes, a tragedy falls upon the world. Is this statue a work of art or a mystical seal keeping the chaos of the universe at bay? Silence. You are walking on the longest cemetery in the world, a stone spine that has seen millions die under the weight of imperial ambition. Do not be fooled by its beauty. Every brick hides a whisper of pain that the wind has never been able to silence. With an official extension of more than 21,000 kilometers, this wonder began its current form in the Ming Dynasty, 1368-1644. Its walls average 7 meters high and 5 meters wide, built with a mixture of earth, stone, and a special sticky rice mortar that makes it indestructible. The wall twists over the mountains like a millenary stone dragon that has remained petrified in eternal agony, a gray scar dividing civilization from the wild void. Under the moonlight, the shadows of the watchtowers seem to take on a life of their own. Elders say the spirit of the guardians still walks the highest passes. Are we visiting a historical monument or a spiritual barrier that still protects us from the darkness we cannot understand? Do not look into the abyss from the edge of the highest infinity pool in the world. At the top of Singapore, the air is thin, and luxury feels like a tightrope over a sea of skyscrapers. Here, danger and opulence dance in a terrifying balance. This complex of 3 55-story towers, opened in 2010, supports at its summit the Sands Sky Park, a 340-meter-long platform. The structure bears the weight of 3 Olympic pools and a tropical forest 200 meters high, defying hurricane winds and seismic oscillations. The building looks like a huge glass vessel stranded on 3 monumental columns, a technological Noah's Ark floating over the urban horizon, bathed in a neon glow. The lights emanating from its nocturnal bow look like signals for distant civilizations. There is a legend that those who swim in its heights feel total disconnection from terrestrial reality. Is this a refuge of pleasure or a ghost ship sailing in the void of modern time? Raise your gaze toward the pinnacle of Southeast Asian engineering, where the Malaysian sky is pierced by a crystal needle defying gravity. Merdeka 118 is testimony that the limits of architecture are only a temporary illusion. With a dizzying height of 678.9 meters, it consolidates as the second tallest building in the world, following its completion in 2023. Its facade is composed of faceted glass panels, emulating the patterns of traditional Malaysian crafts, integrating 4 million square feet of living space. Its geometric silhouette shines like an elongated and asymmetrical diamond, a crystal of light that seems to sprout from the urban jungle like a totem of a future era that has already arrived. At dawn, the tower captures the first rays of light, becoming a beacon of hope for the nation. Citizens see in it the strength of their own rising identity. Is this skyscraper a path toward the clouds, or the Tower of Babel that will finally manage to touch divine peace? Stop before the largest hydraulic structure ever conceived by human ingenuity, a concrete wall that has managed to alter, literally, the Earth's rotation. This is not a simple dike. It is the electric heart-pumping energy to an entire nation. Finished in 2006, this 2.3-kilometer-long, 185-meter-high dam uses 32 main turbines to generate 22,500 megawatts. Its construction required the movement of 100 million cubic meters of earth, creating a reservoir that stretches for more than 600 kilometers upstream. The dam rises like an artificial cliff of leaden gray, a wall of steel and concrete containing the fury of a liquid dragon, looking like a perfectly sealed surgical wound in the landscape. When the waters roar as they are released, the air vibrates with a frequency that local monks call the thunder of the earth. It is believed the Yangtze River possesses a will of its own that now sleeps under the cement. Will human stone be able to eternally contain the indomitable spirit of the water? Step into the terminal that has rewritten the rules of global aeronautics. A colossus that not only processes passengers, but redefines the efficiency of human time. Here, science and logistics converge in a design that seems extracted from a superior civilization. Opened in 2019, this airport features a 700,000 square meter single building terminal, the largest on the planet. Its structure rests on only 8 C-shaped columns, allowing immense natural light and a flow ensuring no passenger walks more than 600 meters to their boarding gate. From the sky, the complex unfolds like a golden and organic starfish, with glass limbs that look like technological roots sinking into the Beijing soil. The amber glow of its roof evokes the protection of a celestial dome. Travelers say that walking under its dome, one feels the calm of a modern sanctuary. Is this airport a door to the world, or an altar where man pays worship to speed? Behold the new sovereign of the oceans, the ultimate floating city that has turned the sea into its own crystal kingdom. It is not a boat. It is the icon of the seas, the final testimony that humanity has surpassed all limits to create a paradise over the abyss. With a gross tonnage of 250,800 tons and 365 meters in length, it is the largest cruise ship ever built. It houses the largest water park at sea, 7 pools, and space for more than 7,600 passengers, operating on liquefied natural gas to lead the era of sustainable navigation. It is a leviathan of lights and colors, shining like an entire galaxy, floating over the dark waves. A mountain of steel and joy defying the immensity of the horizon with its majestic presence. Under the starry sky, the ship emits a glow of triumph that seems to light the way toward a new era of civilization. It reminds us that even in the vastness of the ocean, human ingenuity can build a home of light and hope. Is this the definitive arc that will save us from monotony, or the final monument to our need to conquer every corner of the planet? Stop before the stone wall that stopped time in the heart of the desert. In Glen Canyon, the force of water meets the stillness of concrete, creating a sanctuary of blue reflections where nature and man have sealed a pact of silence. Finished in 1966, this concrete arch dam is 220 meters high. Its construction created Lake Powell, the second largest reservoir in the United States, stretching through red sandstone canyons, transforming an arid landscape into an oasis of hydroelectric energy and life. It is a gray heart embedded in the red chest of the earth, a perfect concrete curve containing an ocean of liquid crystal in the middle of ancient rocks. The setting sun bathes the canyon walls in a sacred fire, reflecting in the stagnant water. It is said the echoes of the ancient Navajo inhabitants still resonate in the cracks of the dam. Are we protecting a vital resource, or have we imprisoned the wild soul of the earth behind a wall of cement? Walk over the mirror of the Yellow Sea and feel how the world disappears under your feet. This bridge is not just a road, it is a silver thread sewing the ocean with the sky, a line of peace extending as far as the eye can no longer reach. With a main length of 26.7 kilometers, this bridge is a masterpiece of durability. Supported by more than 5,000 pillars, it was built to resist the freezing of the sea and the impact of devastating natural forces, using engineering techniques that seem like modern magic. The structure glides over the waves like a white silk ribbon, disappearing into the sea mist like a dream that refuses to wake up, bathed in a sapphire blue glow. The sound of waves crashing against the pillars creates a mantra of infinite serenity. It is believed that walking this bridge purifies the heart of those seeking the truth. Is this an achievement of man, or a gift from the gods so we can cross the abyss without fear? cross the threshold of eternity through the world's largest arch, a door joining Suzhou's imperial past with a future shining like a diamond. Here, architecture is a poem written in the air, an invitation to discover the invisible. Walton meters high, this double tower structure, joined at the top, symbolizes an open door toward progress. Its elegant design uses glass panels reflecting the light changes of Qinghai Lake, housing luxury hotels and offices floating over the horizon. It looks like a pair of giant legs, dressed in silver silk, or a mystical portal opening to another dimension, standing out as a silhouette of pure light in the twilight. Passing under its arch, one experiences a sense of renewal, as if the soul were filtered by the beauty of the design. Local poets say it is the place where heaven touches earth with a kiss. Is this a commercial door, or the definitive access to the spiritual enlightenment of the city? Elevate your soul in the port of the skies, where steel becomes light as a feather and architecture imitates the grace of creatures from the abyss. In Jiaodong, traveling is not a process. It is a poetic transition toward absolute freedom. Opened in 2021 as a 4F class airport, its 478,000 square meter main terminal is starfish-shaped. This design allows planes to efficiently surround the building, reducing walking distances for passengers to less than 5 minutes from the center. From the clouds, the airport looks like a white glass jewel scattered over the coast, a star fallen from the firmament shining with a celestial glow under the dawn light. The air in the terminal feels purified, charged with the hope of millions of destinations. It is said the spirit of the winds blesses every traveler passing through its center. Is this a transport node or a sacred temple where humanity finally learns to commune with the clouds? Why would a corporation choose to inhabit a symbol of infinity made of glass and metal, creating an eternal loop where the beginning and the end are the same thing? The Infinitus Plaza defies our linear perception of time and commercial space. Designed by Zaha Hadid architects, this structure takes the shape of an infinity symbol, a horizontal 8, encouraging total connectivity. With pedestrian bridges joining its sections and roof gardens, it uses recycled materials and natural cooling systems to minimize its environmental impact. The buildings intertwine like two rings of silvery light, merging in a perpetual embrace, appearing like an organic spaceship that has decided to take root in solid ground. Light reflects infinitely on its curved panels, creating a sense of perfect but disturbing harmony. It is rumored that within its walls, ideas never die. They only transform. Is this the design of the future, or a geometric cage condemning us to repeat our successes forever? Hold your breath as you descend into the marine abyss. You are entering the world's deepest underwater tunnel, where millions of tons of ocean press over your head. Here, a single failure in the steel seal would mean a liquid and eternal end. This system includes a 6.7-kilometer tunnel, plunging 40 meters below the seabed to allow the passage of deep draft vessels. The tunnel sections weigh 80,000 tons each, and were assembled with millimeter precision underwater, defying treacherous currents and salt corrosion. It is a dark entrance devouring cars, a mechanical throat swallowing daylight to spit you out kilometers away in the middle of the blue ocean. In the depths of the tunnel, the silence is absolute and oppressive, as if you were in the belly of a steel whale. It is said the sea whispers forbidden secrets to those who dare to cross its domain from below. Are we conquering the ocean, or just passing through territory that will never belong to us? Why would a road twist on itself in impossible spirals, suspended in the void like a roller coaster for deities? The Tianlong Highway looks like an error in the simulation of the real world, a path that should not exist. This 3-level circular structure was built to overcome a 350-meter drop in an extremely short distance. With a length of 30 kilometers of tight curves and viaducts floating hundreds of meters above the ground, it is one of the most complex and costly roads in Shaanxi province. Seen from the air, the road is an asphalt snake biting its tail, an infinite loop of concrete embedded in the deep green of the sacred mountain. Driving through its curves, sunlight plays hide and seek, creating a sense of divine disorientation. There is a legend that those who travel it at night end up in a different time than they started. Is this a triumph of logistics or a mystical labyrinth designed to trap wandering souls? Do not approach the blades of death. On the coast of Hainan, white giants cut the wind with a silent violence that could shred reality itself. Here, clean energy is born from a force that knows no mercy. Located in an area prone to extreme typhoons, these modern turbines are designed with grade 17 resistance technology. Each blade measures more than 80 meters, and the total height exceeds 150 meters, capable of generating energy even in the midst of storms that would destroy any other structure. They look like alien sentinels lined up facing the ocean, their long white arms rotating rhythmically like celestial guillotines against a sky heavy with black clouds. The constant hum of the rotors creates a hypnotic frequency that seems to invoke the fury of the sea. Fishermen avoid the area, fearing the stolen wind brings the curse of scarcity. Are we harvesting energy, or are we mutilating the sacred breath of the planet to feed our electric greed? Why would man release a waterfall of mud and sand with the force of 1,000 storms, turning a sacred river into a sediment hell? The Shaolangdi Dam hides a vital purpose behind a spectacle that looks like the end of the world. Located on the course of the Yellow River, this 154-meter-high dam is crucial for flood control and sediment management. Every year, it performs a silt flushing operation where it releases trillions of cubic meters of water to clean the riverbed, using high-pressure discharge tunnels. The image is terrifying, an explosion of thick brown water emerging from the bowels of the earth like the blood of a wounded giant, covering the valley with an ochre mist. The roars of the discharge sound like the laments of the river spirits disturbed in their sleep. It is said the Yellow River claims its freedom in every drop of mud. Is this process a necessary cleanup or a slap to the dignity of nature? Watch out. You are entering the Silicon Labyrinth, where the future is coded behind walls of impenetrable glass. In this research center, technology is not just developed, it is breathed, and one false step could leave you trapped in a neural network from which there is no return. This complex, whose main construction concluded recently, consists of 10 interconnected towers, the tallest being 249 meters. The design uses a system of aerial walkways and smart facades regulating light and heat, housing thousands of engineers working on the next frontier of artificial intelligence. The complex looks like a set of crystal microchips stacked with millimeter precision, a neon fortress shining with a glacial blue under the Dongguan sky. The electric glow of its laboratories suggests the presence of an artificial mind that never sleeps. Locals warn that the air vibrates with a static energy that makes skin crawl. Are we creating tools to serve humanity, or are we building the brain that will eventually replace us? Why build a building with an absolute void in its center, defying the utility of space in one of the densest cities in the world? The Guangzhou Circle forces us to question whether architecture is a function or a coded message we still do not understand. Opened in 2013, this 138-meter-high building features a central hole 47 meters in diameter. Its 33-story structure is inspired by ancient jade discs, using an exterior steel network to support the massive weight of a design that seems to float. It is a giant gold coin struck into the bank of the Pearl River, a solar disk that, when reflected in the water, creates the symbol of infinity, or a sacred 8 of titanic proportions. The shadows the circle projects look like portals to another dimension where time does not exist. It is said that the wind that passes through its center carries whispers of the ancient kings. Is this building a monument to wealth, or a stone eye watching our sins? Observe the geometric harmony of the Moon Hotel, a structure defying the logic of traditional construction by closing in a perfect ring over Lake Taihu. Here, materials physics is put at the service of an unprecedented aesthetic. Completed in 2013, this 100-meter-high and 116-meter-wide hotel is a marvel of reinforced concrete and steel. Its circular horseshoe shape allows all rooms to have panoramic views, while its foundations sink deep into the lakebed to withstand hydraulic pressure. At night, the building reflects in the water, forming a perfect number 8, the symbol of fortune, shining like a white neon jewel floating in the liquid darkness. The silvery reflection on the lake surface transmits a peace that seems to emanate from remote times. It is a place where the spirit merges with the landscape. Is this structure a simple hotel or a giant amulet designed to attract eternal prosperity to the land? Welcome to the pinnacle of human verticality, a city contained in a single building that twists toward the sky to mock the wind's fury. The Shanghai Tower represents the zenith of sustainable architecture and structural resistance of the 21st century. With a dizzying height of 632 meters and completed in 2015, it is the tallest skyscraper in China. Its design features a 120-degree twist, reducing wind loads by 24%, sustained by a 1,000-ton mass damper, guaranteeing stability against typhoons and earthquakes. Its double-skin glass facade twists like a liquid crystal spiral piercing the clouds, appearing like a needle of light trying to extract energy itself from the cosmos. At the summit, the glow of the stars seems within reach, evoking an ancestral connection with the universe. Many believe the tower is a mystical axis, balancing the city's energy. Will this steel giant be able to protect us always from the storms of time? Behold the absolute power of engineering over the Yangtze River, where the Yangtze Bridge stands as the undisputed monarch of double suspensions. It is not just a crossing, it is a mathematical feat defying fluvial geology with surgical precision. Opened in 2019, this colossus holds the record for the double-deck suspension bridge, with the longest main span in the world, stretching for 1,100 meters without intermediate pillars in the water. Its high-strength steel structure supports 12 lanes of traffic, designed for a useful life exceeding 100 years under extreme conditions. Painted a vibrant gold, the bridge unfolds like a celestial dragon resting on the murky waters, a scar of light joining two industrial worlds in a perfect line. Under the glow of the setting sun, the metal glitters like a sacred path of prosperity. The inhabitants of Wuhan see in it the pride of a nation that never stops. Is this bridge a transport route or the symbol of our unshakable will to dominate destiny? Step into the depths of modern commerce at SKP Chengdu, an underground engineering marvel, defying conventional urban planning by hiding a luxury metropolis under a green park. It is not just a shopping center. It is a triumph of spatial logistics over the Earth's surface. Opened at the end of 2022, this complex extends over 500,000 square meters, of which 99% is below ground level. Structural engineering allowed the creation of a commerce canyon 5 levels deep, integrating invisible ventilation systems and massive subway stations, moving thousands of people per hour. From the air, the place looks like an immense technological crater, embedded in an emerald oasis, where crystal fountains emerge like inverted stalactites seeking sunlight. The glow emanating from its skylights evokes a sanctuary dedicated to buried prosperity. Citizens feel the pride of having conquered the subsoil with elegance. Is this the definitive refuge against exterior chaos? Or a glass cage where we have buried our desires? Observe the sacred geometry of the Grand Lotus of Hangzhou, a structure where steel curves with the delicacy of a flower to house the sporting dreams of a nation. Here, materials resistance meets botanical harmony on a monumental scale. Completed for the Asian Games, this stadium has a capacity of 80,000 spectators. Its design is composed of 28 large and 27 small petals, made with an interlocking steel system that reduced metal use by 60% compared to traditional designs, optimizing structural load through advanced algorithms. The structure unfolds like an immaculate white lotus flower floating on the banks of the Qiantang River, a metal lace shining with almost divine purity under the sun. Light filters through its petals, creating a play of shadows that looks like a visual mantra of peace. It is said that He Stadium channels the river's energy to bless the competitors. Is this a temple of sport or a steel offering to the eternal beauty of nature? Welcome to the Ring, a bold experiment where concrete surrenders to the tropical jungle. In this mixed-use center, climate engineering has achieved the impossible, maintaining a living and vibrant ecosystem within a high-density commercial structure. This development features an interior botanical garden 42 meters high, called the Jungle Botanical Garden. It houses more than 70,000 plants of 300 different species, controlled by a smart irrigation system and CO2 sensors, guaranteeing a perfect microclimate 24 hours a day. The building looks like an immense glass bubble that has trapped a fragment of the Amazon jungle, a dome of light where intense green contrasts with the shine of modern steel. The green glow emanating from its interior purifies the spirit of visitors, offering a refuge of calm in noisy Chongqing. Elders say the building has its own vital breath. Are we integrating nature into our lives, or just creating a showcase for what we have destroyed outside? Watch out for the digital swarm. You are entering the operational brain of Alibaba, a class labyrinth where every step is recorded by an algorithm that knows more about you than you do. Here, the future is written in code, and one mistake could erase your trail from the connected world. This massive 290,000 square meter campus is the home of thousands of data engineers. It uses a smart city network, managing everything from internal traffic to energy consumption through artificial intelligence, operating as an autonomous organism, processing trillions of transactions per second. The buildings intertwine like a neural network of glass and metal, a structure that looks like a giant microchip deposited over the Jixi wetlands, vibrating with a glacial blue light. The constant hum of the servers sounds like a warning whisper for those who value their privacy. It is said the spirit of eternal commerce watches every corner. Is this campus the peak of progress, or the technological panopticon where our freedom vanishes in the cloud? Why would a modern skyscraper choose to dress in the shape of an ancestral pagoda, joining 21st century steel with the mysticism of the number 8? The Jinmao Tower is an architectural enigma, trying to balance financial ambition with cosmic harmony. 20.5 meters high with 88 floors, this building uses the number 8, symbol of fortune in China, in all its aspects, from its inauguration on August 28, 1998, to its octagonal base structure. Its concrete core is designed to withstand typhoon winds and large magnitude earthquakes. It rises like a silver mountain of stepped layers, a crystal needle appearing like a Buddhist temple that has grown to touch the firmament in a display of golden lights. The shadows projected by its levels look like steps towards spiritual enlightenment. Legend has it that its height was calculated to connect the earth with the thunder gods. Is this building a business office or a giant amulet designed to attract the universe's luck? Do not get lost in the infinite loop. The Phoenix Center is a visual trap, a structure without beginning or end where space twists on itself. Entering here is accepting that your senses will be challenged by an architecture that ignores straight lines and human logic. Designed with the shape of a Mobius strip, this 65,000 square meter center uses a non-linear steel structure composed of 3,800 unique glass panels. There is not a single right angle on its facade, which required the use of aerospace software to calculate load distribution and the building's stability. It looks like a silver metal snake biting its tail, or a futuristic seashell shining with a spectral glow in the middle of Chaoyang Park. The reflection of light on its curves creates mirages that seem to trap the soul in an eternal cycle. Visitors warn that inside, one loses the notion of time. Is this a total work of art, or a labyrinth designed to confuse the human spirit forever? Why build a temple dedicated to what we cannot see? Pure air and the absence of human trace. This museum is a monument to invisibility, a structure trying to teach us to exist without destroying, posing questions that humanity refuses to answer. It is the first museum in the world dedicated exclusively to the concept of low carbon. Its design uses solar energy, rainwater harvesting systems, and recycled construction materials, achieving energy efficiency that reduces its environmental footprint to almost zero while educating millions on climate change. Its shape evokes a green glass wave emerging from the ground, an organic structure that seems to merge with the landscape as if it were a living organism breathing sunlight. The silence in its galleries feels like a sacred reproach toward our lifestyle. It is said the museum guards the seeds of a world not yet born. Are we learning to save the planet, or just building a mausoleum for the nature we have already lost? Stay alert for the appearance of the ghost ship. At the confluence of Chongqing's rivers, a crystal structure emerges that looks like a warship trapped in time. Its sharp edges and glacial shine warn that art here is not just entertainment, it is a cutting force. With a surface area of 100,000 square meters, this theater is clad with frosted glass plates that change color according to light. Its aerodynamic design allows natural ventilation, but its construction was an extreme technical challenge due to fluvial terrain instability and the complexity of its acute angles. At night, the building looks like a giant diamond or a glass battleship sailing over the city's eternal mist, emitting a deep blue glow that freezes the breath. The echoes of operas resonating inside sound like laments of sailors missing in the Yangtze. It is said shadows on stage take on a life of their own at dawn. Is this a palace for culture, or a portal where past tragedies are performed again? Why does a blue sea exist on the roof of the world, where air is so thin that thoughts become transparent? Qinghai is an enigma of salt and water, a place where geography seems to have made a sacred error by placing an ocean in the middle of the mountains. The province houses Qinghai Lake, the largest saline lake in China, situated at 3,005 meters above sea level. It is a critical point of biodiversity and an essential climate regulator for Central Asia, surrounded by grasslands containing mineral deposits dating back millions of years. The landscape unfolds like an infinite sapphire mirror under an indigo sky, a spot of impossible color, surrounded by snowy peaks that seem to watch over the secret of its deep waters. The glare of the sun on the salt water is so intense that it looks like a divine manifestation. Tibetan nomads believe the lake is the Earth's eye looking toward the sky. Is this place a natural refuge, or the last vestige of a submerged world refusing to disappear? Do not look down, or you will lose your soul. Atelier is the famous cliff village, where survival depends on a steel ladder suspended over an 800-meter abyss. A single slip here is not an accident. It is a definitive encounter with absolute void. Originally, inhabitants used wicker and rotten wood ladders. In 2016, the government installed a structure of 2,556 galvanized steel steps to connect the village with the outside world. Children had to climb and descend this vertical wall daily to attend school, defying gravity every day. The ladder looks like a metallic seam sewn into the skin of a red rock cliff, a vertical line of danger lost between the clouds and and vertigo. The evening light bathes the precipice in a blood color, reminding us of life's fragility. It is said the winds in the canyon are the voices of those who did not manage to complete the ascent. Is this ladder a path toward progress, or a monument to the cruelty of human geography? Observe the silent dance of cranes under the bow-high sky, where commerce becomes a choreography of steel and light. The port of Tianjin is not just logistics. It is a visual poem about global connection, a maritime door where the horizon merges with human effort. It is one of the busiest ports in the world and a leader in implementing zero-emission smart terminals. Covering an area of 121 square kilometers, it uses automated cranes and satellite-guided smart vehicles to move millions of tons of cargo with precision mimicking a heartbeat. From a distance, the stacked containers look like an infinite mosaic of colors, an abstract painting extending over the silver sea under a constant amber light. There is a majestic peace in the incessant movement of its machines, like a rite of sacred exchange between nations. The force of human union is felt in every ship that sails. Is this port a wealth node, or the altar where the modern world offers its soul to trade? Let your spirit travel along the back of the stone dragon sleeping on the crests of history. The Great Wall is not a border. It is a breath of millennia turned to rock, a path of solitude and glory, where the wind whispers songs of peace to ancient warriors. With an official length of 21,196 kilometers, this structure has resisted the passage of dynasties and extreme climates. Built with stone, brick, and sticky rice mortar, its architecture perfectly adapts to the most hostile orography, functioning as a spine that unified the identity of an entire civilization. It twists like a gray silk ribbon over the green mountains, disappearing into the mystical mist to reappear on the horizon like an eternal line of light. Under the moonlight, The walls emit an aura of ancestral protection that purifies the traveler's heart. It is said the spirit of China rests in every battlement. Is this wall a monument to separation, or the stone bridge joining us with our own eternity? Breathe the pure air emanating from a vertical forest that has decided to inhabit the city. The Country Garden headquarters is an ode to symbiosis, where office glass lets itself be embraced by living vegetation, creating an oasis of silence and freshness in the industrial heart of Guangdong. This building is famous for its massive green facade, covering multiple levels, designed to act as a natural thermal insulator and an urban air filter. It integrates advanced hydroponic systems and technological research centers, being a pioneer example of large-scale corporate ecological architecture in southern China. The structure looks like a botanical temple fallen from the future, a mountain of green leaves and flowers shining with morning dew under a soft golden light. The presence of plant life in every window transmits a serenity that calms human ambition. Many believe working here is like meditating in the middle of a sacred forest. Are we learning to live with the earth? Or are we just decorating our domain with the remains of what was once free? Behold the sacred fire feeding the night of millions, a beacon of energy burning with the force of a captive sun. In Tuokatuo, industrial power acquires a sublime dimension, reminding us that even in combustion, there exists a fierce and necessary beauty that sustains our civilization. It is the largest coal-fired power plant in the world, with an installed capacity of 6,720 megawatts. Its 8th-generation units supply vital energy to Beijing through ultra-high voltage lines, operating with filtering technologies that attempt to mitigate the environmental impact of its colossal scale. The chimneys rise like pillars of an industrial temple, emitting columns of steam tinged with purple and orange under the twilight, appearing like giant torches illuminating the end of the world. The heat emanating from its machines feels like the heartbeat of a titan sleeping under the earth. There is a silent reverence in the magnitude of its sacrifice for our light. Is this energy a gift from the fire gods, or the fuse slowly consuming our own home? Behold the spear of humanity that has dared to wound the sky to claim eternity. The Ping An Finance Center is not just a skyscraper. It is the definitive monument to the unshakable will of an era that refuses to have limits, a modern Tower of Babel that has achieved what myth only dreamed of. No meters high with 115 floors, it is the fourth tallest building on the planet. Its 1,700-ton stainless steel facade is designed to resist Shenzhen's salt corrosion for centuries. Its 1,000-ton mass damper allows it to remain imperturbable before the most violent typhoons, while its elevators travel at 10 meters per second toward the summit. Its sharp and silvery silhouette shines like a diamond carved by the hand of a giant, a needle of pure light cutting the clouds and reflecting the glory of a civilization walking toward the stars. At the very top, where the air becomes sacred, one experiences the smallness of man before the immensity of time. The dawn light touches this peak before anywhere else, like a divine blessing over our ambition. Is this the pinnacle of our existence, or the last step before realizing that true height is in the soul? Welcome to the closest point to heaven humanity has ever managed to reach. The Burj Khalifa is not just a skyscraper. It is the definitive testimony that modern engineering can ignore the limits of gravity and atmospheric physics. Opened in 2010, this structural marvel reaches 828 meters in height with 163 floors. Its design is based on the geometry of the Hymenocallis desert flower and was built with a reinforced central core system, allowing the structure to withstand extreme wind pressures and massive seismic oscillations at high altitude. It rises like a crystal and steel needle piercing the clouds, a silver spear reflecting the desert sun like an eternal beacon of human ambition. The golden glow of its facade at sunset evokes the pride of a people who transformed sand into glory. As the Arabic proverb says, "He who seeks the summit must be patient with the stars." Is this tower a bridge toward divinity, or just our longest shadow projected over the earth? Enter the largest spherical structure in the world, a technological prodigy that has redefined the concept of immersive entertainment. The Las Vegas sphere is the culmination of advanced optics and precision acoustics on a scale never seen before. Finished in 2023, this sphere measures 112 meters high and 157 meters wide. Its exterior is covered by 1.2 million LED discs, creating the highest resolution screen on the planet, Exosphere, while its interior houses a beamforming sound system allowing each spectator to hear a personalized experience without headphones. It looks like a living planet that has landed in the middle of neon lights, a titanic eye watching the city, or an artificial moon projecting visions of distant universes over the asphalt. The blue light emanating from its core seems to contain knowledge of the future. There is a feeling of scientific wonder that elevates the spirit toward the unknown. Are we before a technological toy, or before the first digital oracle of a new civilization? Observe the feat of creating solid ground where only the marine abyss existed. This artificial island is the anchoring point of one of the world's most complex tunnel and bridge systems, a triumph of hydraulic engineering over the currents of the Pearl River Delta. As part of the Shenzhen-Zhongshan link, this island was built by inserting 57 giant steel cylinders into the seabed. Its aerodynamic design allows transition into a 6.8-kilometer underwater tunnel, managing airflows and safety for thousands of daily vehicles under immense hydrostatic pressure. From the heights, the island has the shape of a glass kite floating in the blue sea, a perfectly carved geometric jewel joining two industrial worlds across the waves. The silvery reflection of its facilities transmits an unshakable faith in man's ability to shape geography. Engineers see in it the victory of will. Is this island a safe refuge, or an intrusion that the sea will end up claiming in its eternal cycle? Why build a bridge that twists like a roller coaster over a mist valley, defying stability with steel tube pillars? The Ganhaizi Bridge looks like a structure designed for an amusement park, but it hides a purpose of survival in an area of high seismic activity. Located in Sichuan, this viaduct is 1,811 meters long. It was built using steel tube structures filled with concrete to reduce dead weight and increase flexibility against earthquakes, allowing it to literally float over the foundations in the middle of China's most unstable mountains. It unfolds like a gray steel snake sliding between snowy peaks, a structure fragile in appearance, but indestructible in its mathematical essence. In the gloom of the mist, whispers of mountain winds seem to pass through the steel beams. There is a silent warning in its height. Is this bridge a path of freedom, or an engineering trap designed to play with the fate of those who cross it? Do not look down when walking on transparent glass 150 meters high. The Dubai frame is a visual guillotine forcing you to face the absolute void while dividing your life between the dusty past and the steel future of the Emirates. Opened in 2018, this monumental frame measures 150 meters high and 93 meters wide. It uses more than 2,000 tons of steel and is clad with 15,000 square meters of gold-colored stainless steel, with a 75-meter-long glass bridge at the top, offering a terrifying bird's-eye view. It is a picture frame for giants, a golden window suspended in the sky, framing the Dubai skyline, as if it were a sacred painting of epic proportions. The golden light enveloping the frame at dawn seems to invoke the ghosts of pearl seekers from the past. Those who cross feel their souls weighed by the judgment of time. Is this a monument to vision, or a warning about the fragility of what we have built on sand? Why would someone embed a vein of steel and crystal into the skin of a sacred mountain that has remained virgin for millions of years? The 100 Dragons elevator is a direct challenge to the spirits of Zhangjiajie, an intrusion posing uncomfortable questions about our place in nature. This is the world's highest outdoor elevator, with a vertical journey of 326 meters. Its 3 double-deck cabins can take 50 people simultaneously in less than 2 minutes, using special seismic sensors to stop at the slightest movement of the millenary quartzite pillars. It looks like a metallic spine sprouting from the rock, a jet of light and crystal rising toward the clouds like the breath of a dragon awakened by human greed. The shadows, the elevator projects over the valley, look like ritual marks of a civilization that has forgotten respect for the sacred. Elders say the rock cries at night. Is this elevator an access to paradise, or the definitive profanation of a sanctuary that should have remained hidden? Feel the roar of the water contained behind a concrete arch that seems about to burst. In the Swiss Alps, the Lac de Mousson Dam is a concrete shield holding back a glacial ocean, where a single structural failure would erase entire valleys from the face of the earth. Situated at 1,130 meters, this arch dam has a height of 180 meters. Its concrete wall must withstand the massive pressure of 227 million cubic meters of water, using a system of internal inspection galleries monitoring every millimeter of thermal deformation and constant hydraulic pressure. It is a perfect grayish curve embedded between snowy peaks, an artificial wall holding a turquoise water mirror shining with a deadly cold under the alpine sun. The white light of the glacier reflects off the concrete, creating a glow that blinds the soul. The silence of the mountains is interrupted only by the hydraulic heartbeat of the water. Are we protecting life with this barrier? Or are we feeding an ocean monster that will one day awaken? Why build the world's longest mountain escalator in a place where the ascent should be an act of meditation and physical effort? In Lingshan, man has decided that the path toward enlightenment should be comfortable, automated, and devoid of sweat. This structure covers hundreds of meters up the mountainside, allowing thousands of tourists to climb extreme slopes without taking a single step. Its engineering required the installation of sections protected by glass covers imitating the shape of a dragon, using high-efficiency electric motors designed to operate in extreme humidity conditions. The escalator looks like a golden dragon of glass scales climbing the Green Mountain, a mechanical line dividing the ancient forest into two perfect halves. The glow of the escalator's internal lights creates a tunnel of unreality, disconnecting the traveler from the earth. It is said that forest spirits avoid this metal path. Is this an advance for accessibility or the end of the spiritual meaning of pilgrimage to the summits? Watch out for the industrial beast that never sleeps. Drax is the epicenter of massive combustion, a complex of towers where fire and steam create an apocalyptic atmosphere. Here, energy is extracted from the bowels of biomass with a voracity that consumes forests to keep the lights on. This is the largest power station in the United Kingdom, with a capacity of 3,960 megawatts. It has transitioned from burning coal to woody biomass, using 6 gigantic boilers and 114-meter-high cooling towers, processing millions of tons of wood pellets a year, operating in an uninterrupted heat cycle. Its 12 cooling towers rise like chalices of an industrial sacrifice, emitting columns of white steam that look like man-made clouds under a gray British sky. The heat emanating from the complex creates an orange haze, appearing like the breath of a steel demon. Many feel an oppression in the chest, seeing its magnitude. Is Drax our energy salvation or the fuse accelerating the end of our planet's climate balance? Why stretch a 42-kilometer path over the freezing waters of the Yellow Sea, connecting lands that the ocean had already separated with wisdom? The Jiaozhou Bridge is a line of asphalt lost on the horizon, where the view finds no land and the sense of direction disappears. Completed in 2011, it has more than 5,000 pillars and was designed with high-density steel and concrete to resist extreme salt corrosion and sea ice. Its construction included a T-shaped interchange section floating over the ocean, a marvel of offshore structural logistics. It twists over the water like an infinite silver snake, a thread of light joining coastal mists under a sapphire blue glow that seems to have no end. Fishermen speak of a curse of the depths, caused by the bridge's constant shadow. The sea wind sounds like a lament in its expansion joints. Is this bridge a triumph of commerce, or a scar of pride on the sacred face of the ocean? Observe the beauty of what seems to be collapsing toward the sky. The Mahanikon is a visual poem about imperfection and controlled chaos, a building that teaches us that true strength lies in the spaces we leave empty so light can enter. Meters high, its facade is characterized by a ribbon of carved pixels wrapping the tower, creating terraces and balconies that look like remains of a technological erosion. Its skywalk viewpoint, with a glass floor, is one of the highest points in Thailand, offering a dizzying view of vibrant Bangkok. The tower looks like a glass sculpture being dismantled by invisible hands, a pixelated silhouette shining like a broken diamond under the tropical Thai sun. The cyan glow of its nightlights evokes a digital peace, as if the building were ascending to a higher plane of existence. One feels the vibration of a city that never sleeps. Is this skyscraper a monument to modernity, or a reminder that everything we build is destined to fade? Submerge your spirit in the golden reflection of the Tarim Highway, a black thread of life crossing the heart of the Taklamakan Desert. Here, the road is not just asphalt, it is a line of hope defying the eternal silence of the dunes with a melancholy elegance. It stretches for 522 kilometers across one of the world's most hostile deserts. To protect it from shifting sands, millions of shrubs were planted along its margins, fed by an underground solar irrigation system, turning this route into an artificial green corridor in the middle of an absolute void. The road unfolds like a black silk ribbon over a sea of ochre sand waves, a lonely path shining under a sunlight that seems to burn time itself. At sunset, the desert wind sounds like the sacred breath of the earth, purifying the traveler's mind. Nomads say that on this path, one can hear the world's heartbeat. Is this route a triumph of human connection, or an ephemeral trail in a sand ocean that knows no oblivion? Stop before the portal that seems to lead to the very center of the earth. The glory hole is not an error of nature, but a masterpiece of hydraulic engineering that turns falling water into a hypnotic dance of force and stillness. a concrete mouth swallowing the world's excess. This bellmouth spillway has a diameter of 22 meters at its top. When the level of Lake Berryessa rises too high, water pours into this giant funnel, falling vertically more than 60 meters into an exit tunnel, processing thousands of cubic meters per second to protect the Monticello Dam. It looks like a perfect vortex of crystalline water, a liquid crystal ring sinking into darkness, creating an image of terrifying serenity that defies the senses. The glow of the water as it falls emits a purifying energy, as if the lake were offering a ritual sacrifice to the abyss. A sacred peace is felt observing its center. Is this spillway a safety tool or a mystical altar where water seeks its own redemption? Observe the sacred wall that has tamed the largest liquid dragon in Asia. The Three Gorges Dam is a monument to forced peace between human ambition and the eternal roar of the Yangtze River, a mirror of water so vast it contains reflections of 1,000 years of history. It is the largest hydroelectric plant in the world in terms of installed capacity, 22,500 $. Its 2.3-kilometer long and 185-meter high structure not only generates energy for a nation, but regulates the floods that for centuries devastated the valley, altering the weight of the Earth's crust in the region. It rises like a silvery concrete cliff under the river's eternal mist, a geometric jewel shining with a celestial glow when the sun touches its open gates. The constant sound of water flowing through the turbines sounds like a mantra protecting the future. There is a divine solemnity in its magnitude, a prayer of cement toward the sky. Is this dam the pinnacle of our power, or the temple where we have imprisoned nature's soul for our own survival? Behold the stone skeleton of an empire that refused to die, the definitive testimony that eternity can be built with bare hands. The Pont du Gard is not just an aqueduct. It is irrefutable proof that beauty and utility can join in an embrace surviving millennia and the fall of civilizations. Built by the Roman Empire in the 1st century AD, this 3-level bridge reaches 48 meters in height. It was part of a 50-kilometer aqueduct transporting water to Nemes through a slope of just 2.5 centimeters for every kilometer, an amazing mathematical precision achieved without cement, only through the perfect fit of stone blocks weighing up to 6 tons. Its golden arches reflect in the calm waters of the Garden River, a structure of light and shadow appearing like an ancient jewel embedded in the green Provençal landscape, shining with the wisdom of centuries. Under its arches, time seems to stop, and the concerns of the modern era fade before history's majesty. The evening light bathes the stones in a sacred fire, reminding us of our small but glorious footprint in the universe. Is this bridge a simple water path, or the final monument to the immortality of the human spirit refusing to be forgotten by time? Step into the nerve center of global trade, where artificial intelligence has taken absolute control of the horizon. The port of Yangshan is not just a terminal. It is an autonomous organism processing the world's economic fate with mathematical precision, ignoring human error. Situated in deep waters and connected by a 32-kilometer bridge, this port is the largest of its kind. Its Phase 4 is fully automated, using smart gantry cranes and hundreds of automatically guided vehicles, AGV, operating 24 hours. It manages an annual capacity exceeding 40 million TEUs, moving mountains of steel with the energy consumption of a small city. From the air, the port looks like an immense electronic motherboard, where colored containers act as microchips moving in a constant electric flow under a silvery glow. The flash of night LED lights evokes the presence of a digital deity observing humanity's pulse in absolute silence. Sailors say the air vibrates with an ancestral binary frequency. Are we before the peak of efficiency? Or have we built the golden cage, where our essence will no longer be necessary forever? Welcome to humanity's only home beyond the borders of our world. The International Space Station, ISS, is the definitive outpost, a feat of technical cooperation floating in absolute void, defying the cosmos's hostility to unveil the secrets of creation. Orbiting about 400 kilometers high and traveling at a dizzying speed of 28,000 kilometers per hour, this structure completes one lap around the Earth every 90 minutes. It is the largest artificial object in space, with a surface area similar to a football field, maintained by pressurized laboratories where microgravity experiments are conducted that are impossible on the Earth's surface. It unfolds in darkness like a shining metal bird, with its immense solar panels extended like wings of gold, capturing the light of a sun that never sets. The blue glow of the Earth, reflected in its hatches, emits a sacred peace, purifying the spirit of the astronauts. In the cosmic silence, man's smallness becomes evident. Is this station a beacon of hope toward the stars, or the last refuge of a species that has exhausted its own home? Stop before the Hydrolytitan joins two nations through the brute force of water. Itaipu is a monument to binational engineering, a concrete wall that has domesticated the Paraná River to generate the vital energy feeding the heart of South America. Inaugurated in 1984, this dam has an installed capacity of 14,000 megawatts through its 20 generating units. Its 196-meter-high wall used enough concrete to build 210 football stadiums, creating a colossal reservoir that transforms the geography and ecosystem of the border region forever. The structure rises like an impregnable gray wall, an artificial cliff of steel and concrete appearing like a perfectly sealed wound in the skin of the tropical jungle. The constant thunder of water falling through the spillway sounds like the roar of ancient river gods who have been chained. It is said Thataraná's spirit claims its freedom in every vibration of the turbines. Is Itaipu a triumph of human union, or a slap to nature's sovereignty that will one day awaken? Watch out. Nature is claiming its place in the city, but not as a guest, but as an inhabitant of glass and leaves. The Bosco Vertical is an experiment where the jungle has decided to climb the skyscrapers of Milan, creating an atmosphere of mystery where the living and the inert merge. Completed in 2014, these two residential towers house more than 900 trees and 20,000 plants distributed on their facades. This plant density is equivalent to 2 hectares of real forest, functioning as a biological air filter, absorbing CO2 and producing oxygen, while regulating the building's internal temperature through a centralized irrigation system. The buildings look like living lungs embedded in Milanese steel. 2 green mountains breathing in the middle of the asphalt, appearing as totems of a civilization that has returned to glass caves. Light filters through the leaves, creating dancing shadows evoking forgotten rites. Inhabitants say that in the night silence, the whisper of forest spirits trapped in the height is heard. Are we saving the planet, or just decorating our fall with the remains of what was once wild? Hold on tight while you drive over the clouds. In the south of France, an asphalt path floats at a height where vertigo becomes a constant physical presence. The Millau Viaduct is a wind guillotine, forcing you to face the abyss with every kilometer traveled. Designed by Michel Villaugieu and Norman Foster, this cable-stayed bridge reaches a height of 343 meters, surpassing even the Eiffel Tower. Its structure rests on 7 massive concrete pillars and uses a 36,000-ton steel roadway sliding over the Tarn River Valley, designed to resist winds of over 200 km/h. From a distance, the bridge looks like a series of white sailboats sailing over a sea of mist, a web of steel cables holding the fate of thousands of travelers over an absolute void. The white glow of its masts under the moon evokes the presence of air ghosts guarding the pass. Those who cross feel a total disconnection from firm ground. Is this bridge a path of freedom, or the definitive monument to the arrogance of a human ego refusing to touch the ground? Observe the turn of fate in the largest silvery halo in the world. The Ain Dubai is not just a Ferris wheel. It is a sacred circle of steel, teaching us that time is an eternal wheel of lights and shadows, an invitation to contemplate the horizon from the eye of a giant. With a record height of 250 meters situated on Blue Waters Island, This structure used more than 9,000 tons of steel, exceeding the weight of 2 Eiffel Towers. Its 48 luxury cabins offer 360-degree views, moving with a hypnotic cadence, allowing one to see the entire Dubai coast in a single cycle of visual meditation. It rises like a light ring fallen from the firmament, a geometric crown shining like a circular diamond under the desert sun, reflecting in the turquoise waters of the Persian Gulf. The amber glow at sunset transmits a divine serenity, as if time stopped at the top of the turn. Many believe the wheel's center is a cosmic balance point. Is this structure a tourist attraction or the giant amulet keeping order in the chaos of the modern desert? Submerge your spirit in the reflection of a mirror utopia, cutting the desert like a glass sword. The Line is not a city, it is a linear poem about coexistence, a silver scar promising a future where man and earth speak the same language of peace again. This NEOM megaproject proposes a city 170 kilometers long and only 200 meters wide, without cars or roads. Wrapped in mirror facades reflecting the landscape, the structure will house 9 million people in a minimal physical footprint, functioning entirely on renewable energy and keeping 95% of the territory for wild nature. It looks like a silvery light beam petrified over the Tabuk sands, an infinite line of mirages joining the mountains with the Red Sea in a pure crystal embrace. The shine of its walls at dawn emits an energy that appears to purify human vision. There is the promise of a life without ties inside. Is this city the final refuge of our creative soul, or the mirror where we will finally see that we cannot live separated from the earth? Behold the main artery of civilization, the sacred cut that joined 2 oceans and changed the course of human history forever. The Suez Canal is definitive testimony that man's will can tear the planet's skin to sew the fate of nations into a single life stream. Opened in 1869 and expanded multiple times, this 193-kilometer canal connects the Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea. Its initial manual construction took the lives of thousands, but its existence eliminated the need to round an entire continent, allowing the passage of 12% of world trade through a narrow water corridor excavated in the purest desert. It unfolds as a sapphire blue crystal vein, piercing the infinite ocean of the Sinai, a liquid survival line shining with the light of 1,000 golden sunsets over millenary sand. Under the desert's starry sky, the canal emits a glow of glory, joining the souls of all the navigators of history. It reminds us that before time's immensity, human ingenuity is the only bridge capable of joining the impossible. Is this canal the final monument to our capacity for connection, or the eternal scar of our ambition to possess the world?